How's it going, everyone? You're watching Stretford Paddock. Today we've got a live news update for you. There's a medical set for Dan James of Swansea at Manchester United. I think we've known about this one coming for a while now, but today it seems as though the transfer has progressed. The transfer is looking like £18 million, 15 million up front with a potential 3 million add-ons for the 21-year-old winger. Coming out this morning, Simon Peach tweeting that Daniel James has left Wales's base near Chester as they prepare for their Euro 2020 qualifiers against Croatia and Hungary to undergo a medical at MUFC's Carrington training ground, according to the Press Association colleague Phil Blanche. So that's about as good a confirmation as you're going to get. Sky again reporting it as well. Simon Stone of the BBC. We've got Craig Norwood as well, the club photographer, tweeting out a video of Dan James, a little highlights video. So yeah, it's going to happen. First sign of the summer, by the looks of things. It's an exciting one, I think. It's a nice. For me, it's a good little sign in this one, because I think 15 million up front and obviously 18 million if all goes well. It's the sort of signing that I think as a club United are used to. That kind of Ferguson signing of kind of keeping the younger players that kind of come up and potentially become first team players in the next few years, keeping those signings churning over. They're what kind of keeps the club fresh, keeps the club with young players that can make a difference. It's all good signing these big players, but we need to sign players like this that can take maybe a couple of years. Like obviously Ronaldo's, the chances are he won't turn out to be Ronaldo. But when we signed Ronaldo, he was a young player that wasn't necessarily particularly proven, but he fit a style of play, he fit the way that United wanted to play going forward. There's a good tweet here by Simon Stone, again of the BBC, saying, bringing youth in as a policy has served United well down the years. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer resetting the dial, but so much ground to make up. I think that's a good point. We've seemed to have lost that kind of that underlying base level of players that can come through and surprise the team. People like the last youngsters we bought. Who did we get? We got Martial in attacking positions. We got Martial. We bought. I can't even think the last time we bought someone that was particularly young. Lukaku, but he's not necessarily that young. I think it's good to have these kind of players that can push the more established players in the team. We've got Mata on the right hand side. I mean, obviously James can play. I think he's predominantly plays on the left hand side, cutting on his right foot, but he can play on the right hand side as well. And I just think it's just an excellent bit of business, really. It's 15 million, again going up to 18 million, is sort of the equivalent of that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 million pound signing that we're used to a few years ago. Obviously, the transfer market's changed a lot in the last few years. I've compared him to Ronaldo a minute ago, maybe again slightly optimistically, but then also on the other side of things, it kind of reminds me as well of the Nick Powell signing from Wigan a few years ago. Well, quite a while ago now actually, but that was a £6 million signing. This youngster that looked really promising in the lower league, and maybe questions about his attitude at United, questions about his attitude generally, I think, with Nick Powell. And he never really did anything at United. But I guess that's why you take these kind of lower level risks with a bit less money, a bit less on the table in terms of risk. There was talk that James was had a bit of an attitude problem maybe in his loan spells in the past, but he's only a young lad, so what do you expect? I think as long as he can put that to one side and he can not let it affect him at United, then everyone's got a bit of an attitude, I think, when they're 21. The former club, James's former club Hull, are due a sell-on fee of around 5% of the upfront transfer, so they're cashing in on about 300 grand there. They're going to love that. So his stats last season, it was his first full season in the Championship. He made 28 appearances. He scored 4 goals and got 7 assists. Obviously, the goals, it's not many goals really, is it? But like I said, it's his first full season in the Championship, so he's probably not going to set it alight. And 7 assists, I think that's pretty good. I think we're missing people who are direct. He's very direct. He's very fast. He gets the ball in the box well with both feet. Looking at some highlights over the last sort of couple of weeks since this transfer was kind of rumoured. And he's particularly direct, and I really like that, especially on the right in particular. We don't have anyone with any pace or that's direct at all. But even if you're looking on the left-hand side with people like Sanchez and Martial, they're so keen to cut back in on the right foot. that sometimes we lose that kind of get in behind, get the ball in the box. We've got Lukaku waiting for crosses in the box, and no one on our team can cross the ball particularly well. Lukaku is actually probably the best crosser of the ball that we have at the moment, whereas James, he gets past his man, he gets past his fullback, and he chips balls in the box, he gets balls in the box. I think that's something that we're really missing at United. Even again, if he's only 21, he might not be set to be the first choice starter in whichever position he plays in. We definitely need that kind of direct attacking style at United. Obviously, we're live today, so if you've got any comments or questions, do put them in the comments below, and I'll get to some of those in a little bit. He's played 2 times for Wales, so I wonder whether Ryan Giggs has had a bit of a word with Solskjaer and Ed Woodward, maybe telling him about what kind of potential he sees for Dan James. I think to me, it's just one of those signings that it's exciting because it's the first signing of the summer. It's Solskjaer's first real signing. Obviously, we had Hugo a couple of days ago, but a 16-year-old academy product isn't quite the same as a £18 million 21-year-old. It's the first proper sign of the summer. It's exciting. It's nice to see that we're going in this kind of direction. That obviously we're looking at these big players, maybe De Ligt, maybe Koulibaly, maybe looking at Sancho as well. But it's good to see that we're getting these slightly cheaper players in. And again, just filling in gaps in the squad that we have at the minute. That right-hand side is just an absolute vacuum of quality, an absolute vacuum of just players generally. We've got Mata playing on that side, but he's really not anything like a winger, is he? He doesn't go past his man. He's always, again, because he's left-footed, he's always cutting back on that left foot. Like on both wings, all of the players just want to cut back in on that foot, that strong foot all the time. So James, who looks pretty two-footed from what I've seen of him, hopefully won't have to rely on cutting back, because defenders just get used to it. They know what to expect. They know what's going to happen, and it becomes easy to defend. And I think it really cuts down on if Solskjaer wants to play a bit more counter-attacking style of play, that kind of high press. You break up the play in the opposition half, and you quickly get the ball in the box. Our players always slow that down. They always have to take that touch back to sort of get on their strong foot again, and it slows attacks down, and it allows defenders to sort of regroup. And we haven't had the attacking quality in the sort of that final third pass to break down defences once they've set up due to our slow build-up play. So I think this is it's an excellent signing, really. Let's have a look in the comments here. Yeah, Ivan there saying he crosses at the line as well, which is exactly the point I was just making there. It's something that we really need, someone who can go past the fullback and get the ball in the box. Someone's saying, why did we not sign Maguire on at Wigan? Well, that's maybe a comment for another video. So it seems as though the medical is set for today. We're expecting an announcement of the full transfer either this evening or perhaps tomorrow. I would expect it this evening, most likely, if the medical has been confirmed. Obviously, people at the club are aware of the situation, like I said, with Craig Norwood, who's the club's official photographer, tweeting out a highlight video of James. It's essentially done. So yeah, that's going to be all for today, pretty much. We've got our first signing sorted. What do you think to this transfer? Is he the sort of signing you want? Is he exciting? Do you think he's maybe even a little bit more exciting than a bigger name? Because anyone can pick out these big names across Europe: De Ligt, Sancho, Koulibaly. We all know them, but they're sort of a bit more under the radar. Maybe a sort of a sign of a bit more a bit more of a modest approach maybe in the transfer market, picking players that suit the problems we have rather than just the biggest name available. Let us know what you think to that one in the comments, and we'll see you next time.